So in this video, guys, we're going to talk about intensive reading versus extensive reading. So intensive reading should be done before extensive reading. If you don't do intensive reading before extensive reading, then you will be in for a lot of pain and a lot of frustration. You need to build up the vocab beforehand. So with intensive reading, you're going to be focusing on the text that you're studying, like whether that's in like a textbook or if it's just a book in general, like a graded reader or something like that. You're going to be extracting all of the vocabulary out of it, and you're going to be looking up the meaning using a dictionary or something like that. You're going to be recording that vocabulary into something like Anki or into a notebook, so something that you can review later, inshallah. This is going to rapidly grow your vocabulary, which is what you're going to need to do extensive reading. So intensive reading, you're going to just be trying to just, like Pokemon, just catch them all. You're just going to be extracting all the vocabulary that you can, looking it up and recording it down. To do this, you can start with the small texts that are in most language learning or most Arabic learning textbooks. The small paragraphs that you get, or the dialogues and the conversations that you get. These are fine to start with, and then you can even move on to doing maybe graded readers or audio books. Something preferably with audio would be good. It's always better if you can get audio with it as well. So one of the good things about intensive reading is that you have time to focus on the text, to look and analyse the sentence structures, to analyse the grammar and see what's going on. And this over time will build your overall reading comprehension. And the text that you're reading, you should reread multiple times, whether that's over the course of days or weeks or months. And this will help to consolidate the vocabulary. And on top of that, if there is audio available and you can listen as well, that's even better. And that can be done in dedicated listening sessions, or while you're doing other things and you've just got your earphones in and you can listen while you're doing other tasks. So now let's talk about extensive reading. Like we said, extensive reading has a prerequisite of intensive reading, because it's going to be painful if you're doing extensive reading starting from scratch, because you're not going to know anything. So intensive reading is best when there's not too many unknown words. The key to extensive reading as well is to pick something that you enjoy. Extensive reading is not meant to be a chore. It's meant to be enjoyable. You're supposed to just read what you enjoy and try to get it somewhere around your level so it's not too painful. But you want just the right number of words that you don't know so that you can, inshallah, infer the meaning through the context. Extensive reading, by the way, it's not like you're not allowed to look up words. In general, you won't look up words. You'll just keep on reading. Even if you don't understand the word, you just keep on reading with the hope that, inshallah, over time, that word will pop up and it'll fall in the right context where it will click. However, if there's a word that is starting to really annoy you, like it's popping up and you're just not grasping it, don't torture yourself. You can look it up quickly. You don't have to record it down or anything like that. Just look it up, put yourself at ease, and then just keep on reading. One of the good things about extensive reading as well is that it's a very powerful tool that you can use on your own. You don't need a teacher for it. This is reading for pleasure. It's not intensive study. So you don't need a teacher. You can do it any time of day. You can relax, sit down, cup of tea, and just read for pleasure. And if it is something that you actually enjoy reading, you're going to be reading a lot more of it, and therefore getting a lot more exposure to the language, which is the goal here. We just want mass exposure to the language. And when you're doing extensive reading, you should be at somewhat of an intermediate level. Well, like I said, where it's not too painful and you're just acquiring the words from the context. So what you need for this is mass exposure. The more reading you can get in, the more listening you can get in, the better it's going to be here. Also, I would recommend really trying your best to find something with audio. because especially if you're reading something without harakat, you're going to want to know how it's pronounced. So to read something or listen to something, as you're reading it, like listen along, that's always going to benefit you, especially with pronunciation. Reading a number of domains and topics and genres can be helpful while extensive reading, to expand your vocabulary. However, it might be better to stick to one at a time to increase the frequency of the vocabulary that is used in that domain, and then move on to the next one. However, this is, it's more of a personal thing. It's just a suggestion, really. So that's it for this video. If you want to see my video on how to gain vocabulary, I will put a link on the screen somewhere, or I'll link it in the description, inshallah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.